Shalom. Good morning. I want to thank you for allowing me to be here this morning at Mosaic. I like that name, Mosaic. I do want to say, Jesus, Yeshua, raised people from the dead. One of his friends he raised was Lazarus. I had a chance to talk to Lazarus, and I asked him, what's the best thing about being in heaven? He said, you can eat all the avocados you can desire. Best food ever. So don't listen to the other guy. I want to tell you about Jesus as I know him, as I knew him in a way that you've never heard before. So with your permission, I'll tell you. All my life I set example. Every Sabbath go to temple. Every Sabbath worship Yahweh. Then comes Jesus with a new way. Jesus' words are very clever when he says to love whomever. Turn your cheek is what he said when someone hits you in the head. How can Jesus be so smart? He only has a child's heart. All his life he worked with wood. The work he does is pretty good. His words are clever and they're wise. I like to hear what he advise. And one day when the scribes are near him, I step closer that I might hear him. The crowd had grown to 27. This is what he said of heaven. He said heaven has many mansions. Then the chief scribe threw a tantrum. Then the scribes had got a notion. Get rid of Jesus was the motion. But how do we get rid of one who says he is God's only son? Then the scribe who was the boss said, we must nail him to the cross. Scarce could I believe my ears. Mine eyes had swollen up with tears to think that they would take my friend and bring him to such painful end. They went and had a make-believe trial. It only lasted a little while. Someone tied him to a post, and there they beat him more than most. 39 was what I read. They beat him nearly halfway dead. A crown of thorns stuck to the head of one who brought life to the dead. Then they led him up the hill. This man called Jesus they would kill. And there they did a deed most rude. They stripped him till he stood there nude. They threw his body to the ground, and with their hammers began to pound. Just as quickly as they could, they nailed his body to that wood. They dropped his cross into a hole. I felt the darkness in my soul. The Lord had blackened out the sun, and darkness fell on everyone. The ground began to roll and shake, and we were having a real earthquake. The ground began to shake for certain. God tore apart the temple curtain. As I stood beneath that cross, I somehow felt a joyous loss. I felt as though my world of sin was washed away because of him. All my sins were washed away when Jesus died there on that day. He didn't die for only me. He also died for you. You see? And when he rose up from the dead, he did it just the way he said. Destroy this temple and you will see that I will raise it on day 3. And so in humble celebration, I will proclaim to every nation that Jesus Christ is who he said, the Son of God, no longer dead. The gift of life he freely gave, and you can take that to the grave. For when the time for you draws near, death no longer will you fear. If you have Jesus in your heart, it will be easy to depart. If you haven't done it yet, do it now, or you'll regret. The day you die without the Lord, you'll burn with Satan and his horde. Accept the Lord. His gift is free. His gift is life for eternity. L'chaim, Hallelujah. Shalom.